What's going on, everybody? And I have another manga for you. This manga is called The Apothecary is Going to Make This Ragged Elf Happy. This is a very, very good manga, and it's a little different from other ones you may have read. This one is one page is one chapter, and so far there is, I believe, about 26 chapters to this date, and I will leave the name and the creator down there below in the description, so if you want to check it out, you can. Now, I am going to give you a little bit of spoilers. I'm going to try to summarize the story up until the most recent chapter. The chapters come out pretty frequently, so there's probably going to be a couple more once this video actually does get posted, but I just wanted to warn you guys that there will be spoilers ahead. But I'm not going to spoil everything because I still want you guys to go read it and figure out some things for yourself. And there are a couple tags related to this manga. You got ecchi, fantasy, and romance, and it's not as bad ecchi wise as you would think. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. It starts with our main character, who is an apothecary. An apothecary is someone that makes drugs and sells drugs, and in this story you could pretty much consider him a doctor. Our main character is talking to another man about this elf. Now, this elf is in very, very bad condition. Necrosis of the limbs, which is the deterioration and the death of your limbs. In the cells, everything is dying. Just think about like your limbs disintegrating and falling off. That is what's happening. She has scars all over her body. One of her eyes is missing. She is blind in the other eye. She has no teeth besides maybe a couple in the back. She has no fingernails. She is in very, very rough shape. Her mental health is completely gone to non-existent. Our main character sees this, and what tips him over the edge is when he hears the elf talk about how she wants to go home. Please take her back home, while crying. This gives our main character the determination and the vow to do whatever he can to get her back to being healthy, to get her happy, and to get her back home. So he purchases the elf and decides he's going to take her back home. Now, she can't move, so he has to carry her all the way back. And on their way back, as soon as they get out of the city, she immediately starts feeling a little bit better because she's an elf. She's used to being in nature and not so much in the city. And during their little trek on the way back, our main character starts to patch her up just a little bit, gives her some warm food, which she probably hasn't had in forever. But on the way back, she does come down with an illness due to her numerous injuries, and our main character is able to find what he needs to make her feel better. And on their trip, that's when our main character actually gives her a name. She is called Rezer. I'm not sure how exactly you would pronounce that, which is short for resurrection. He is going to resurrect her and give her a proper life. Now, once they do get back to the main character's house, he actually is able to undress her, bathe her, clean her up a little bit, and see the full extent to her injuries, and she is in very, very rough shape. And he does everything he possibly can to start patching her up. And thanks to one of his friends and her daughter, he is able to get her some nice, clean, fresh clothes and actually able to brush her hair for once, which probably hasn't happened in a long time. And slowly through the course of her being at his house, she slowly starts to improve day by day. Whether it's because of all the attention our main character is giving her, or whether it is the daughter of his friend that comes over and visits to help cheer her up, she is slowly day by day getting better. Our main character is even able to read up and figure out how to give her dentures. That's how dedicated this man is. And everything is getting better and better until one day she gets very, very sick and very, very ill, and we discover that she has been poisoned. Now, this poison was a very slow-acting poison that wasn't given to her by the man that sold her, but was given to her by her previous owner. So her previous owner must have absolutely hated her or had some vendetta against her, gave her a slow-acting poison so she would not be his problem. She wouldn't die on his property. She wouldn't die on his watch. He basically pawned her off and said, go die somewhere else. This angers our main character so much, he reiterates his vow to make her better and to get her back home. And thanks to our main character's friend and her daughter, they are able to watch over our elf while he goes out into the world and is able to get everything he needs for a proper antidote. And this gives us a little bit more information about the whole world, about the kind of monsters you'd see, about the kind of plants you would see. Now, after our main character is able to heal her from the poison, we get a very, very good chapter where our main elf waifu's progress drastically got better. She's able to finally regain her conscience and her mental state improves drastically, and in the only eye that she has, she's able to finally see just a little bit out of it. She can tell light from darkness. So all of our main character's effort is finally coming to. And because of this, she's actually able to hold some conversations. Now, she doesn't have all of her memories back yet, but she is finally able to thank our main character for saving her. And with that, our main character says that she actually had saved him too, which might give us a little insight to our main character's background and maybe the stuff that he went through before he came across her. And during the next couple days, as they are eating some delicious pumpkin pie, our main character finally gets a response. He sent out a crow letter to one of his friends because our waifu still has some very bad necrosis of her limbs and he needs to get that fixed. Now, he's not so overpowered to where he can fix that. So he sent a letter out to his friend asking, hey, I need your help. You know a lot more than this than I do. And he finally got a response. His friend says, all right, sounds interesting, so I'll play around with her. Not for free though. Got that? I'm sure you have plenty saved up. So off on an adventure we go. And this chapter actually gives us a little bit more information about this whole world building. There are things like portals and scroll transportation, and there are magical seals that you can use. He uses one to lock up his shop and lock up all of his dangerous and very expensive medicines. So off on an adventure we go. We get a little montage of our main character shopping around and going to different places, finding all the necessary equipment and the clothes that he's going to need. And because our main waifu can still not walk and doesn't really have much control of her body, she has to be hoisted up on a dolly on our main character's back, and he's gonna have to carry her all the way there. And on the way there, we finally get the official name of our MC, which is Mr. Apothecary. And the reason he doesn't give her an actual name is because once he is done healing her up, he just wants to send her back to her home place, and he wants her to just forget about him, which is kind of very, very sad and might give us a little bit more information about just kind of the dark past that our main character has had. And during their trek, they come across a couple things. One is a wild bear, and during this encounter, our main character is just about to start to fight it when our main elf waifu lets out a clear voice which stops the bear in its track and sends it away. And our main character questions her, hey, you can talk to animals? And she replies, I'm not sure. So she is slowly regaining back her abilities and all of her things that make her an elf, even if she doesn't know it. And in the last and final chapter that is currently uploaded, we get our main character being just a complete and total badass. They come across a giant snake, and the reason for said giant snake is due to an influence of bad mana, which is causing a bunch of mutated creatures. So that gives you a little bit more information about the world that they're in. So he sets her down, and with the help of a strength potion and applying some vibration magic to his blade, he is able to deal with this huge snake that would give even Steve Irwin a run for his money, and the only injury he has is a cut on his hand. Now, maybe the snake is poisonous, and maybe that cut is a very big deal. We won't know until the next chapter, but the only thing that our waifu seemed to hear was bang, smash, squish, stab, and crack as the things are going on behind her. And that is the story up until this point. This elf started from just a broken person, basically an object at that point, and is slowly regaining her consciousness and her will to live, and her overall being is getting better and better. So you guys definitely need to check this out. There are a bunch of fan servicey images, not gonna lie, but it's nothing too way out there like the last one I reviewed. This is actually a very, very good story, and I can't wait to see more. Like I said, it uploads pretty frequently. You get a couple chapters a month. It's one page, one chapter, but there are a lot of things going on in that one page, and there's a lot of information in the background of the images and like in the text. If you actually read it all, it gives you a whole plethora of stuff about the world and about these characters' lives. It's a really good read. I would definitely check it out if you're interested. Like I said, I'll leave the name and the creator down there below in the description, so if you guys could, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you guys get updated when I release more of these. And also check out my sponsor, GamerSupps, code CRAZY, if you want to get 10% off. So that is all I got for you boys. If you have any recommendations for future manga, let me know down there below in the comments. And that's all I got. Have a fantastic day. Peace.